Now in this section we're going to look at images and WordPress. So we look at items such as uploading images, inserting images, customizing images, basically adding what's called alt text to images and captions, setting a featured image, and also deleting images from WordPress. So the first thing is we're going to look at, we'll bring up a page, and what we'll do is we'll add an existing image to that page. So if we bring up a page, so we'll click on Pages here, then we'll scroll down to a page, so this one here we'll say why use us. We'll click on that so we can edit this page. Now at the moment we just simply got some text in there but no images, so what I can do is I can click here, put the insertion point there, and now I want to add an image. So what we do is we click on this button here that says add media. So if I click on that, now you've got two options. Basically, if you've got an image on your hard disk, you can upload it, or if you've already installed some images, or there's some images that have been installed for you, then basically in the media library here, which is being displayed here, you can see we've got these various images you can select. So let's say I want this image here. All I have to do is to click on that, so that's been selected. Over here this gives me some information. So for instance it gives you the title there, you can put a caption in, you can put alt text in, or alt text rather, and you can put a description in, and there's various other things you can do. So you can change things like the alignment, and you can put links in and what have you. So in this particular case, just to show you how easy it is, we'll just simply insert this picture as it is by inserting the picture by clicking on Insert into Page. There you are. After a short time it's been inserted. Notice in this particular case it's aligned to the right. So what we'll do is we'll click on this image here, and let's say we wanted this aligned to the left. You might think, well, how do I do that? You don't click up here. What you do is you click here which says Edit Image. This brings up a dialog box, and from here you've got various alignment options. So for instance you've got none, left, center, right, etc. Normally you'd align to the left, so the text will look something like that, or you could center it, or you could align to the right, like so. In this case we'll say no, I want it aligned to the left, so there we go, it would look like that. And if you had text surrounding it, this is basically how it worked. The text would wrap around like so. If you select none there, that's basically really the same as aligning to the left. So anyway, in this case I'll say nope, align to the left. Notice we've got various other things. We've got alternative text. Now this alternative text in here is important from an SEO point of view. So let's say we wanted to put some text in here for Google's benefit. Really you should play by the rules and make sure that the text you put in here relates to the photo and also to the content of the particular page. But just to illustrate the point, let's say this picture was actually related to something about, say, plumbing, and the entire website was about plumbing, and the company was based in Perth. You could put something like Perth plumbing. This is what's called alternative text. It won't be displayed on the screen as such, but it'll be displayed behind the picture for Google's benefit. So far what we've done is we've aligned to the left, we've put some alternative text in for Google's benefit. If I click on Update here, as you can see, simple as that, we've now aligned it to the left here, and if we click on Update, this has now updated the real publicly available page. So if we go and click on where it says Preview Changes, this basically will show you what your visitors see, and sure enough there's the picture. It's aligned to the left, and you've got your text as it was before. So we'll just close that down. Now if we wanted to insert another picture alongside it, we could just simply give ourselves some space by pressing the down arrow a few times, or let's say we wanted a picture above it. We'll click here to insert a picture above it, and just repeat the process so you're quite happy on it. We go to Add Media, make sure that Media Library is selected up here, That will show you the various pictures. So let's say you wanted this one here, which is that picture of the space shuttle. You can say insert into page, and there you go. Notice again it's aligned to the right by default in this particular case. So I'll say no, actually I don't want that. I don't want any alignment in this case. So there we are, there's your picture. It's as simple as that. Once a picture's been inserted there, if you suddenly realized you wanted to maybe change the alignment or add some alt text, you can click on this little button here that says edit image. Up comes your dialog box, and from here you could put some alternative text. Again, make it relevant. So you know, if you took that plumber example, we could put something like leaking tap. Ask your plumber. Now obviously in this case we've got a website which is actually about translating or transferring photos to DVD, so the idea of leaking tap, ask your plumber wouldn't be at all relevant. But as I say, this basically is just showing you the basic idea. If it was a plumbing site, for sake of argument, you could put something in like that, and basically that would be a way of getting the words leaking tap plumber into your website in a kind of hidden sort of way, if you like, that Google will see but your visitors won't see. So even though I've called this leaking tap ask your plumber, if we click on update there and then we update that for real, so it goes up to the website. If we go and preview the changes there, as you can see, nowhere in these two pictures do you see anything about plumbers or leaking taps or anything else, but behind this picture you've got that information that's kind of hidden away for primarily for Google's benefit. So we'll close that down, close the preview down, and go back to where we were. Now there's various other things you can do with images. So for instance, you can change the size of the image. The easiest way to change the size of an image is to click on the image, and just like in say Microsoft Word, you've got these little handles around the side. So if you just simply go to one of these handles and drag it by pressing the mouse button down, when you release the mouse button it'll be resize that image size. With the other one here, if I want to make that smaller, I can go to the corner here and just drag it down. In that particular case I've actually mangled it slightly by not maintaining the up and down values correctly. So as you see, you have to be a little bit careful what you're doing here, because you could end up with pictures looking like this if you're not careful. But there again, sometimes you might want to actually produce something like this for a special effect. If you want more exact control over the imaging size, if you click here, you'll notice that you can change the size of the image like so. So let me cancel this and let's go to this one here, and we'll change this image by using these controls here. And if you do that, as you can see, that keeps the proportions the same. So if I want an image that was 60% of the original size, click on that, click on update, and as you've seen, in many ways that's safer than using drag and drop, because the proportions, the up and down, the up and down images have been maintained, the ratios have been maintained. As you've seen here, if you just simply drag this, you can have ridiculously distorted images, and sometimes that might be okay for some sort of fancy graphic effect, but by and large you just simply want to resize and keep the proportions intact. If you click on here, let's see what else we can change. So I'm clicking on the edit image button. As you've seen, you can change the image size there. You've already seen how to change the alignment options. You've seen how to put alternative text in there for Google's benefit, which is not displayed on the screen. But over here we've got something called a caption. So in here I could put something like spaceship. I'll just correct that typo. That's gone in as a caption, so look what happens when I click on update. Can you see what happens? The update has basically caused this caption to be displayed underneath it. So if I update that to make it live and then click on the preview changes, as you can see, that caption is actually being displayed here, and it's being displayed as text. So that's another way of getting your keywords into your page, you can put them in as captions, and of course remember, as you've just seen, you can put alternative text behind the pictures, which is not displayed on the screen but is there for Google's benefit. So there's 2 extra ways of getting your keywords into your pages. Let me just close down the preview again. Right, if we click on this picture again and go to where it says Edit Images, let's see what else we can do. We can link to another item. So at the moment it's a rather unfortunate thing with WordPress that by default the image links to itself. What does that mean? Well, if I go and preview that, and notice if I move over here there's a hyperlink. I can see that because of the little hand here. If I click on that, by default you have a link to the image itself. As to why WordPress uses this default of a link to the image itself is a bit of a mystery, but I'll go back to where it was, click on the back button there, and it goes back to where we were. Now if I want to get rid of that, if I click on here, if I want to link to maybe a different page on my website, I can get rid of that URL here in the link URL, which is basically linked to a web page. If I want to, I can link to another page on the website, and there's various things you can do. You can link to current by clicking on here. That's not particularly useful, as we've just seen. What I can do is I can link to another page on the website, so I have to actually specify the website, or indeed I can link to a totally different website. So if I type in the address of a different website, in this case I've said basically link this particular picture over here to a different website, totally different website called ccglobal.com. Click on update, and if I update this so it's live, and then go and preview the changes, you'll find there's still a hyperlink here, but if I click on this, if you keep your eyes up here on the actual URL, if I click on this, as you can see, we've been taken to a totally different website. So that basically shows you very simply how you can link pictures to different, totally different websites, or indeed different pages on your existing website. And how did I do that? Just to recap, I went to here, I clicked on here, and I just specified the address in there. It's as simple as that. Obviously you have to make absolutely sure you get the right address, and you have to know the address for the different pages on your website, but we'll see this in more detail later. As you'll see, it's very easy to do. So you've just seen an example here. So that basically covers the basic options available. You'll notice there's an advanced setting up here. If I click on this, there's various other things you can do. So for instance, you can specify an exact width, an exact height. You can reset back to the original size, and there's various other things you can do down here. These are a little bit more advanced, but simple things you can do are things like you can put a border around the image. So if I put a border of say 9 in there and click on update, as you've seen, we've got a nice little border effect. And if we go and click on where it says preview the changes, that's given us a nice little border effect around there. I put 9 just to illustrate it. That's a little bit heavy. You might want a smaller one, or in some cases you might want a considerably larger one to give you a nice sort of graphic, artistic effect. If you want to delete an image, it couldn't be simpler. You just simply click on the image, click on the delete button here where it says delete image, and there you are, it's gone. Click on update, and in the published version of this, the version that people will see when they visit your site, they'll see it's no longer there. If I go and preview the changes, as you can see, we just have the one image. The second image has been deleted. So click here to close down the preview again. So there you are. We've seen how to basically do some basic editing with pictures. We've seen how to insert them, how to delete them, how to resize them, and that's mainly what you're going to be doing. But so far all we've done is we've used basically images that have already been available. They've already been installed into WordPress. So the next obvious question is, well, how do I install some new pictures? Well, we go to media here. Before we were looking at the media library, this time we want to add new pictures. So we click on Add New. We then click on where it says Select Files. And from here we basically have to navigate to a particular subdirectory containing the images you want to upload. So in this particular case I've just created a directory called WordPress Pictures with some sample pictures in here. So I could just simply click on one picture at a time and then click on Open, which would upload it. So let's actually try that. So basically this is uploading it, and it's now available to be used in your media library. If I want to, at this point I could click on Edit here, and once the edit box opens I could type in things like alternative text, I could set a caption, I can even put a description in there. So if I click on here to close down the editing option here, and if I go back to Media Library, so which is under Media Library here, you should find, there we go, the chrysanthemum image is basically displayed at the top here because they're displayed in the most recently added order. So that's basically how we added a picture to our library. If we go back here to where it says Add New and select Files, and again navigate to a particular directory that contains the sample pictures. Right, last time we just simply uploaded a single file, and it was chrysanthemum. Let's say I wanted to select all the files. I'd just simply press Ctrl A, that will select them all. Click outside the selected items and that will deselect them. Let's say I wanted to select everything from here to here. I click the first one, press the Shift key down and hold it down, and then click on that item there, and that would select everything between the first item and the last item. Let's say I wanted maybe just this one, this one, this one, and this one. If I click on here and press the Control key down and keep it held down, if I click on the other items that I want, like so, then release the Control key, that will select just the items that I want. So in this particular case I'll deselect that because what I want is all the items from there to here. So I'll click on this, press down the Shift key, hold it down, click on the last one, release the Shift key. So basically everything's been selected apart from the first one which we previously uploaded. So I'll click on Open now, and as you can see, it's basically got all of these files here, and one at a time they're being uploaded, and shortly they'll all be available in the media file. Right, this is the page you saw earlier. Just to recap, I'll show you how to delete that one again. You click on it, press delete. Now if I want to insert a new item, a new picture, I click on where it says Add Media. Let's say I want the koala here, I just simply click on that, and then down here where it says Insert into Page, I click on this item here, and there you are, it's been inserted. Again, it's aligned to the right in this particular case, so to change that I click here, go to here, say None, and Update, and there we go. If I press the spacebar a few times, I can go to Add Media. Let's say I want the penguins, I'll select that, click on Insert, and away it goes. And again it's aligned to the right. If I don't want it aligned to the right, then basically I can say nope, don't put any alignment in there at all. We'll do it one more time. We'll go to Add Media, we'll select the jellyfish. Notice the reason it was aligning to the right here is because by default it was aligned to the right. If I want to change those, I'll say no, align it to the left, now insert it, and away it goes. So as you can see, we've got our three pictures here that we've just recently uploaded. They've been inserted, and of course remember that if I want to, I can resize those. I can just click on here and say actually I'll make them 60% of the original size. Click on Update, and they are smaller. One more time, 60%, Update, resize. As you can see, it's very easy to do, and after a while you'll get very fast at doing this. Might seem a little bit complicated at first, but stick with it. You just need to play around with WordPress, create some sample pages, just experiment, and after a while you'll be an expert at creating new content and making it look pretty.